Welcome back. Turn 10, end of turn. It is August 24th, 1941. So I guess we're into September next week. That's nice. Fall is getting closer. So I was thinking it's been a couple of weeks since I recorded and played. Excuse me. So I'm gonna try a few more sound settings. I'm gonna increase the music volume and mouse click and sound effects. I raised it a little bit to see if you can hear a bit of sound in the background from the game, but not too much. Anyways, I'm gonna cut this up into two parts. My regular overview of the entire order of battle and the fronts. And then I'm gonna offer you to cut off the video halfway through and jump to the German AI attacks of turn 11, or you can stay, and according to a few comments I got from previous videos, some people wanted a little bit of a deep dive into the armies and closer show of formations. I tried to keep videos as brief as possible, but this one's gonna be like a two-parter, so you can skip the second part if you don't wanna watch a really long video. So let's start with an overview, I suppose. I think maybe we did this at the end of the at the end of the German attacks this time, but anyways, the Soviet Union is up to 5.7 million men, and I managed to squeeze out on the map almost 3 million. So that's okay. We also have a very large amount of tanks on the map now, with 7.4 thousand out of a total of 12.7. I don't know if this includes non-manned tanks in the equipment pool or not. I should have a couple of thousand in old tanks ready to be pushed out into formations. So I tried to get an overview of the theater box Soviet reserves, and it here says almost 1.2 million. But then when I go into the commander's report, that's a large reserve, right? But then if I just go Soviet reserves here, that is 960,000, 2.6 thousand tanks. If I remove the transfers, it's just 800,000. So I really don't know. I don't know how large my reserve is. I suppose some of these reports are before I place out reinforcements on the map and transfer into pools. But somewhere between 8 and 1.2 million, 800,000. I did place 3 Soviet small divisions north of the ports here, so they have to walk into Leningrad. I railed in one 14,000 large Eastern division. It has only 50 morale, so it's not an elite division, but it's large at least. I don't like railing in because that prevents supply or freight from getting into Leningrad area, but I just felt like I needed to have more troops here. I have 2 more divisions that have been walking from the deployment area back here, so they're refitting here next to the they're not really in the combat line this turn, but they'll reach there the next turn. And I guess it's time to start painting the map here a little bit. Unfortunately, with the German breakthrough in the center, down towards the Leningrad center itself, I had to pull out of this area here. At the beginning of the turn that felt painful, but now I really don't care that much. I left one Leningrad militia division in each of these 2 vortexes, and a couple of trashy regiments and battalions in smaller units. It's gonna be a little bit of a speed bump if they feel like attacking them. Then I have 2 divisions each in Leningrad city hexes themselves. So they're very well defended, and I reached level 4 in 2, and I'm on my way to level 4 in this easternmost hex. And then I have 2 divisions sitting refitting. They are banged up, they're damaged. So I have a bit of a reserve that could be usable in a turn or 2. Then we come to the most important part of the line where I'm mostly afraid. We have these 3 hexes here that I've done my best. As you can see, I have level 2 forts in 2 of them. That's because I've had forts building here since a couple of turns. Unfortunately, they're not up to 3. Okay, let's check what's in here. And then we have a heavy woods forest hex here in the middle where I have 2 Leningrad militia. I have deployed naval infantry brigades into these to make them stronger. So you can see they're up to 12 and 11,000 with a combat value of 40. But we don't have any fort levels, but it's a heavy woods hex. And then we have 39 and 29 defense on these very nice divisions. 88 has 61 morale with a nice airborne brigade. Elite as hell with 77 morale. So basically I used the best I could in this hex here next to Leningrad. If it's going to be enough to hold the Germans at bay, I don't know. We'll see. And then behind I have divisions in bad shape. I have a couple of routed units heading out because they have very low morale. I'm trying to send out 45, 46 and lower morale units. This one has at 44 and send them back into the reserve and then rail in or actually deploy in new level, max level 50 national morale divisions. So that is the main worry area that the Germans going to break through here. But then we start to looking better in the eastern part here with 2 divisions in the front line. And he hasn't been inclined to push in this southern area here. And he already cut off the double line railroad Moscow to Leningrad. So I guess this is enough for him to progress here. So I'm doing fairly well in the easternmost areas, but I am worried about the center. And that is why I spent my 2 last fort zones up here. I'll remove the... You see, I have light forest there, but other than that, this entire line up here is very heavy terrain, so I want to protect these ports. I said if I get cut off the land route, I want to keep the naval route open here, so that's why I built 2 forts up there. Okay. I also built a fort zone in the last of the 3 ports called, I don't know what it's called, Sastroy something. Started building this fort. So we get 3 new forts up here. Try to get some artillery out there, but it's really scarce. Oh yeah, I got a new army headquarters, the 55th Army, with a average 4.7 leader, General Reiter. So I upgraded the leadership in the Leningrad area a tiny bit. And the entire front is below command capacity, 71 out of 72. And if we check it out, it has 467,000 with 6,000 artillery. If you want to check out overall infantry in the Leningrad area, you can see that we have 37 infantry formation, over 300,000. I'm going to show the infantry because that is usually where the fighting fatigue, morale, hits, routes, etc. get. So we have a couple of divisions of elite status there, but it's only a handful and they're not really that good. I guess I have 2 61 morale, really good ones that's in the hovering in the area. So there is a reason for that. In case the very strong AI combat capabilities cuts off, isolates and eliminates Leningrad, I really don't want to waste any of my elite divisions up here. So I'm trying to just sacrifice in the meat grinder, normal 50 national morale divisions here up here. And on the lower end, we go down to national morale 46, and I would like to get these guys out, 46, 47, and then replace them, but that's gonna take time. I just can't pull them out. Then my line's gonna get too weak. So that is the infantry complement in Leningrad. It's looking a little bit better this week than it did previous couple of weeks before this. I also transferred 3 strong infantry divisions from the Transcaucasus area. It's going to take 2 turns for them to reach here. But in case the Germans advances, I already set the reinforcement hex. So even though he gets closer, I think they're gonna pop up there and only have a shorter distance into Leningrad center. So I'm hoping to not be cut off from the coast of Lake Ladoga this turn. That is my main hope there. Yeah, it's looking decent, but every time I watch the Germans attack, I forget how strong they are. They are able to push through wherever they want at 120 morale settings. Not gonna talk a lot about Northwestern Front. I guess I'll just show it. 317,000 strong. Wait, if I only select infantry, it's gonna be 31 units out of 243,000. Here we have no elite units, and what the hell, this one, oh, these guys are routed. Okay, the really low morale ones are up at Leningrad. They're routed. They are under a general, no, army headquartered to rally next turn. But they are going off map, so don't look at the 42, 44. But generally, the northwestern marshy area is from around 52 to 47 morale, so no elite troops here. And also, they do have, there's a few strong divisions, but usually they are very low to OE, so it's not a strong front. And that's because we have a lot of cavalry, and because there's really nothing important. I mean, I want to keep this gap at the railroad line south of Lake Ilmen closed. That's where I have my strongest units. But the rest there, after you lose Veliki Luki, there's really nothing to fight about there. If you want to push me, fine. And I left a couple of gaps here with light forest, and I sit around in marsh, swamp, and heavy forest. Yeah, these divisions here, they're not in great shape. They are really low. I did deploy 3 cavalry divisions that I plan on using here in the gaps, in the wilderness. So I'm actually sending in, and I had 1 strong mountain cavalry division walking up here and being kind of a central reserve. So I'm not it's not breaking down, but I try to keep this front as weak as possible. There was quite a lot of combat going on last turn here, as you can see here, and this means that the Germans wear you down because obviously the combat results are in their favor, although I had a few held results. Which reminds me, yeah, I was really lucky. Was it this one here? Nope. This one? 18th Moscow Militia. It has been in 1 combat and it won it, and that sent it must have been on 50 and it gained 2 morale. So a militia division has 52 morale after only 1 combat. That is really well done, 18th Moscow Militia Rifle Division. Yeah, it's not important, but it's just a fun fact of this sector that I noticed. Good job. Kalinin and northwest Moscow doesn't have any units now, so these forces are gonna start to decay. I decided against building anything or putting anything there. Now we come to the Western Front. Okay, while I'm at it, I'm just gonna mention again, if you watched my previous video, it's gonna be a repetition, that I put a 203mm howitzer regiment in each front. The B4 howitzer in each front headquarters. Alright, the 54th Army pulled back quite a lot. We had not a lot of combat in this area, but I guess I was sitting something like this here last turn, and I pulled back all the way here. Because the reason for that is going to be rather obvious when you see these combats here. The Germans just broke through my strongest positions with the strongest terrain, and they're aiming right at Vyazma, like so. So that means I pulled back on the front here. I did leave a little bit of a snaky speed bumper heavy terrain in front of the river here, so that the Germans, when they head eastwards towards Moscow, they have a little bit of zone of control to consider here. Then further, so we have a good division here. Wait, why can't I? Oh, because of this. The 28th Army here it's red in color, dark red. So it has a very good leader, 5.2 average, Sokolovsky. It's responsible for the defenses in the center. I have double line of fairly good units. Western Front and the 28th Army is one of the strongest quality-wise formations. So the Vyazma defenses are in good quality, but they have been fighting a lot and they have been falling back and they have a lot of fatigue. So I'm hoping to be able to dig in for a week or so before the German juggernaut gets here. The 10th Army is weaker, its infantry is bad, but it's not sitting next to a town and it's behind a river and the terrain is fairly good there. 29th Army, if you watch this series, we made a counterattack a turn ago and now we just pulled back and we're sitting south of the river actually, kind of ready to counterattack, but I see full-size German divisions here. I don't want to strike those. So I'm just waiting with a 42 defense here in a stack. Maybe this is a mistake to keep them south of the river. Maybe I should just fortify behind the river. But I'm kind of looking for isolated regiments to attack them and gain victory locations. Should have around 12 or even 1400 tanks in this sucker. 1400 tanks, yeah. So. And I don't think I have a lot of. I don't have a high fatigue, or even though I made an attack, but I'm still building combat preparation as for this army, the 29th Army. It's probably one of my best tank armies. Then I had a new army pop up. It's the 4.2 average leader, so it's orange in color, the 14th Army, and it took over command here around Kaluga with its level 3 fort. So even though they're small divisions, they are rested and refitted and have nice morale and rather good training. So this part of the front has decent quality. But we haven't really had the time to dig in, and terrain isn't excellent. So defense values are like 5, 5, 3, 8, 4, 6. It's not great in this area here where we see the two strongest German formations. So let's see what happens here. I built a fort next to Tula. I built the last two forts I built up at Leningrad, as I showed you, but I was considering putting them around Tula here to slow down the Germans. But I don't think I'm gonna have time to build them that much here, so I'm just gonna ignore that. Yeah, I know we have some light green Corps headquarters down here, but in fact it is under the command of the 3rd Army, which has a very good leader, 4.7 average. So I guess artillery and oops, I'm just gonna... Did we fall back here this turn? I don't think we... Honestly, this is so bad. I can't remember if we ran... I guess we ran from this river back to the next river line this turn, or was it the turn before? It doesn't matter. We have a little bit of space between the Germans here, and I need that because this part of the front is weak. The troops are not in good shape here. Okay, so that would be the command under the central front, not the strongest front ever. Only 197,000, and it is in the route to Moscow, but it's kind of in an angle here and the furthest away from the supply sources of the Germans. The Western Front spot feels 300,000 and troops. The Western Front is stronger quality-wise and numerically, but a strong front is going to be the Orel, Kursk, Bryansk front here. It's going to have a lot of tanks, 2,800 tanks and over 300,000 troops. It's defending the river line. Let's see here, this is how we're going to put it. we have 12, 3, 6, 7, 7, 8, 5, 3. So the defense values of this part, the Orel part, is not, it's not a double defense line. So here I'm weaker around Orel, but I'm spotting regiments here. Of course, the AI can put them together into divisions again. I'm not sure if what's going to happen here. I'm a little bit worried. Also, as you can see, it's the road is open here to encircle, semi-encircle me. You know, should I run and abandon Orel, or should I fight behind this river? I have a bit of level 1 forts here at least. I'm gonna stay because I'm hoping the AI is going to attack me. Should you defend with tanks? No, I guess not. But I don't have the infantry on the map to defend here now. So this is what's gonna happen. Further south though, at Kursk, I've been able to keep double tank mechanized formations and even triple here. So we have 12, 19, 20, X and 7 defensive values here. So unless the AI is really, really smart and encircles me, which a human player of course would do easily. You can see regiments here. I don't know how strong he is going to be, but I'm hoping for a frontal assault, of course. So that's the center part. After I lose Kursk and Orel, I'm just gonna run away with these mechanized formations to Vitebsk and Voronezh here. Right. Oh, I haven't done this, and I forgot to ask in the previous Ask Questions video. I do have some Siberian veterans here. I rail one in from the north that must have been transferred from the Far East here, the 52nd. It has 62 morale and 12,000 strength. This one is a 41B rifle division, but funny thing, these guys here in Vitebsk, almost 15,000 troops, 61 morale, and a bit of light role playing here. It is a Far East rifle division, so it's very strong, it's very experienced, it's an elite unit, and I do think I'm just gonna keep it in Vitebsk and take it off the rail here and have it dig forts and save it as a kind of mobile on-map strategic reserve, and maybe even wait for the mud and the snow and use it for a counterattack and try to build up something of a elite infantry division army in the back line here. Tell me in the comments, is this a luxury Soviet Union can't afford this early? Turn 10? I don't know. But if we have to fall back, at least we're gonna have heavier, larger forts in these two cities. Okay, I made the painful decision to fall back from this very nice defensive terrain with 2 rough axes and a city, and I ran with these cavalry units back to this river line. Further north here, I ran with 3 infantry divisions back here to create some sort of, you see, these 3 forts that I have here, they were built too close to the front line, and they will not have time to serve the purpose to build up to level 3. So that was a mistake from my side. But if we check out the front line here, it is very weak. It's ridiculous. But I have a little bit of distance here now from the German forces. I should have at least 1 week to. And further south in the Kharkov fort line, it has not been built up enough. I have 1 cavalry division underneath these forts, which is just going to give me a little bit of construction value. And then new for this turn is the 51st Army under Batov, a tank commander, and he's going to have 1,400 tanks. These divisions all should have 50 morale and up against maybe 47, 48, 49 experience. So they're good formations. And maybe I can make a counterattack or have them behind the river as reserves. We'll see. So I'm not totally defenseless here, but certainly their reserve front, which is responsible for this sector, it's not one of my stronger fronts. Only 265,000 troops with the 1,400 tanks. Quality-wise, we don't have a very high. Okay, the cavalry divisions here have incredibly high fatigue. What the hell? But except that's the one that left Sumi frontal positions. But other than that, we don't have any extremely fatigued units, and I bet you that the lowest TOE, you know, we don't have any low strength formations in this sector because we have been falling back for many weeks. We haven't been fighting, so in a way, even though the numbers are low, there are small cavalry divisions covering the front. At least the divisions in the area is in decent shape, and I did enter 2 infantry divisions in this sector here, and I think 1 cavalry, random cavalry division here or there. Did I mention that I railed in a very large division into Tula itself? I'm probably gonna have it build forts around here, but it was easier, it was quicker to unload it from the trains in Tula itself. And 1 new division from Moscow walked down here. So I got a little bit of the reinforcements in this central sector here. Did I deploy 4 infantry divisions to put in Kharkov fort line? I can't remember, but I think I did. So I'm gonna replace these cavalry divisions because they have low construction value. It's basically nothing with infantry here now. And of course, further south we do have the southwestern front that has been involved in combat, heavy combat, crossing the river, killing one of the large forts here. We now have a German attack force. Here we have 2 panzer divisions and 1 motorized division, and south of it we have 3 motorized divisions. So we have another tank division there, and another one here. So we have 8. Can I zoom in, please? This is the main threat in the sector, so I guess we're gonna talk about that. We have 8. What the fuck happened? Wait, what the hell? Oh. In this area here we have 8 motorized and panzer divisions. That's very threatening, considering that the troops they are going to smash into are tired, fatigued, and low strength. I really don't like the position here, but I have these wonderful corner positions. So I am going to fight here 1 more turn, and hopefully we don't have immense attack values. Their combat preparation and fuel must be low. So hopefully we don't have a breakthrough and semi-encirclements too much in this sector. It is kind of a gamble to fight here, I admit it, but I'm not willing to abandon this sector of the front. The 21st Army are just, I guess I decided they are going to sit on this river and fight, probably because I don't see a lot of motorized mechanized forces here. I don't know how strong these infantry troops are going to be, but we'll fight here 1 turn. The 21st Army is not strong. It is not. So southwestern front overall, 319,000. Only 800 tanks, because a lot of tanks have been shot up from these 2 tank armies down here. I decided to sit in Zaporizhia and die, and I open it up with a tank division so it's not isolated. But I'm also controlling Dnipropetrovsk, which makes it for a very good anchor. If I have a level 2 fort here, level 2 fort here, and a level 3 fort in Dnipropetrovsk. So these are my anchor points. And I just wonder, and I have a decent division here with 6 defense. So yeah, you can see where the gap is. And then I have some anti-tank brigades, some very damaged tank formations and infantry divisions as a secondary line. The road to the Stalino line is wide open. I don't care if they march eastwards. I guess I'm falling back towards Kharkov with the southwestern front here. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but there's been a lot of fighting, and I am hoping. Oh, and I did a lot of bombing here as well. Nice. Someone asked me how well did you perform in your bombing runs? And wait, 20 and 60. Not a lot, but a little bit of, 26. I don't know, interdict. So you get some result because the Luftwaffe isn't here to interdict. But as you can see, a lot of fighting in the gap, a lot of fighting around Zaporizhia. So yes, my troops, I'm not strong here, but I'm hoping that the Germans, however many there are of them, that they're tired as well. And I am going to fight them here in this area one more turn before I fall back towards Stalino and Kharkov. So let's see how that happens. Yeah, I did last week. I invested in a fort every other hex, and this turn I followed up with another fort line here. I railed in 2 large formations. They're not high morale, but I have 2, I wouldn't call them elite, but I have 2 seriously strong high force divisions, and I did deploy 7 or 8 new weak divisions. When I deploy them, they are at 50 morale and hopefully 47, 48, even 49 experience. So as good as they come, Soviet style. 12th Army fell back all the way from Zaporizhia, and this guy needs to go into the reserve. I deployed 3 new tank divisions in this area, so that I'll fill up this. And the plan is to kind of sit around the supply sources of the ports here and look for counterattack opportunities when the Romanians and Hungarians send their fast regiments, brigades out here in the open. Let's see what happens with that. And of course, I'm gonna help with covering the southern part of the Stalino line here. And then we come to one of the strongest parts of the front, which is obviously the Kerch entrances here. I did use the strongest support units to put on divisions up in Leningrad area because it's the most threatened and important. But I did have some paratroopers and naval battalions, etc. So we're at the main entrances to here. Is this hex side is blocked by these little blue triangles, so you can only attack from one direction. So 60 is quite a good defensive number, and I have some artillery support, and I managed to get this up to 64 in the swamp. Level 3 fort in open terrain, but it is level 3 and it's a 67 high quality mountain divisions. 55 is the defensive number, but it's only 1 hex direction attack here. So I'm hoping all these defensive locations are going to hold this turn, because I mean I have 1 mountain division as a decent reserve that arrived this turn. The other stuff sitting behind here aren't really. I really don't have any reserves in this area. All right, thank you very much. Oh, this is a stupid division. What the hell? Crimea NKVD rifle division popped up here. I can't move it, so I'm just gonna let it sit there. All right. I guess this is the end turn position, I'm gonna do some minor adjustments. So see you in the German attack. But if you do want to watch, I'm going to do a walkthrough of the different armies. So this is an even deep dive. If you don't want to watch that, I understand you. You can pause now and go to the next video. See you later. Anyway, we have inside the Oranienbaum Fortress, we have a very good leader, Coastal OPGR. He's got 3 artillery regiments, and because he's in a city fortress, you can't see his. But he's basically defending the entrance to. Wait, can I do it this way? Can I go into Leningrad front, show subordinates, and then select the coastal OPG army? Yes. Okay, this is a way to show the overview here. It's a strong army. It has plenty. It has artillery, and it has 146 morale. Division. And even though we've been fighting, I don't think fatigue is incredibly bad at this army, because these are my frontline divisions. They are up in the front with the best leadership, the best artillery support. So I'm ready to fight with it. They're sitting in Leningrad itself, defending. And we have some elite divisions with 59, 57, 56, 54, etc. morale. So this is a good army. The next army has a lot of more troops behind, resting, refitting. A few in the midsection here. 5th Army. So it's not as strong, and you can see quite a lot more fatigue. And the morale values are not... Okay, the Airborne Brigade is good, but the morale values are not as good. Oh shit, the army headquarters... It's a new one that popped onto the map. Has very low morale, very low experience, and even low strength, so I need to put that on refit. It's a bit of a hassle, that new army headquarters. You manually have to set them to refit here. So not as strong. And then... This one's going to be even worse, 27th Army. Am I going to do this for all the armies? 3 artillery regiments, and it's even got a new sapper battalion. I tried to keep 1 anti-air unit in each army headquarters, but I don't have anyone available for now for this one. So, decent leadership, because it's orange, Berasarin. That probably means around 4 point something. Okay, and... As you can see here, we have some very fatigued 49, 33. The morale is, we have 1 elite division, but not great. It's a bit smaller, less artillery. So the center sector on the 27th is not as strong as I would like it to be. Next comes 34th Army under Purkayev, 5.5, very good leader, and probably 3 artillery, anti-tank, some engineers to dig in a bit quicker. And here you can see, okay, we have actually rested in this sector. I would have been expecting fatigue to be higher, but it's looking better. 30 is the highest. Morale is going from 53 down to 47, so... And strength, yeah, sure, 50 up to 70. So not the best division. I'm not gonna do this for every army. I'm just gonna try to find interesting armies to check out. Okay, this is an interesting army for you guys who wanted more. The Coastal Army. It's probably could be the best army of the entire front. 5 artillery, none is under strength. Red leadership, Sakharov, very good leader. I'll just show you the... Okay. The mountain. Where are they? Cab art. There. Here we have 8 mountain divisions, and they consist of 98,000. And just look at these sweet morale from 77. The worst one is 52. That's below its maximum 55. Alright, so why didn't I send this to the reserves and max it out? Okay, but anyways, if you want to check a good division, sorry, army, this is it. Over 2,000 artillery and 145,000 strong. Lots and lots of support units. So happy about that. What other armies? Okay, so an example could be Rokossovsky's 6th Army. It's been fighting quite a lot south of Dnipropetrovsk here. So how does it look? It's an important key. Obviously leadership couldn't be better, 5.8, but its army here, it's down to 600 tanks, which is obviously because its TOE strength is very low. Wow, what the hell? 0? We got a 0 strength. It has 3,000 men. Okay. Oh yeah, it has 0 combat values. Okay, do I even? I guess I should move this guy back off map. Why don't I just? I should probably remove this from the map entirely. Yeah, okay, I'll do that off camera. So yeah, as you can see, how's the fatigue numbers here? It goes from 43 down to 30. Okay, so not that bad. I was expecting higher fatigue here on Rokossovsky's army. I mean, obviously you can freeze frame, pause the video, and examine it, zoom in. Next to it, we have another elite army, the 4th army. It hasn't, under Vatutin, it hasn't been fighting quite as much as Rokossovsky's army. So 115,000 strong, only 200 tanks. But the morale of the divisions is, oh, it has some very, very nice infantry divisions, which is a problem. I don't want them standing out in the open in front of a 8 division German Panzer ball like they are now. These guys are not in the right position. They should be behind the front, fitting, repairing, preparing for counterattacks. They should not be cannon fodder on the Russian steppes. So I have not managed this as well as I could. But you have nice 63 is the lowest strength, so they're even strong. You know, like 6 divisions, 75,000. That's very nice. So this army is in better shape, but it is out of position. I might be making a huge mistake fighting up front like this. I'm just hoping that the high morale, the high, you know, I want to cling to this river and keep Dnipropetrovsk and Poltava for another turn, delay the fort construction back here in Stalina. But I don't want these units to be encircled, and I don't want them to be trashed and routed. So it is a dilemma. This is the most sweatiest, most anxious inducing sector of the front, I think. Okay, so that was pretty interesting. The Dnipropetrovsk army here, the last one south of the tank armies, is called the 38th army. So it is orange because it's around 4 point something average leader. So it's not green, that's worse. And it's not red, it's not as good. It has 100,000, 1,400 guns. Morale should be okay. Yeah, I've been pushed down to 48 on the worst unit. And TOE, the strength, yeah, there are some units that are very low strength. But this is weird. It has 10,000 troops. So I suppose out of these 10,000 troops, so many are disrupted that only 25% are combat ready. Is that it? Because I can't understand how you can have such low strength when the total number of men and guns is so high in the division. I don't know. Fatigue wise, yes, we have 60-43. So we have a few divisions that are very, very tired in this area. But not as bad. I thought there were going to be more very high fatigue units in this army. Do you wanna? Are you interested in this new, fresh 37th army? That is the main Belgorod sector defensive army. It has 3 forts, but it's very bad terrain. It's open. I mean, Belgorod itself only has a level 1 fort so far. So, and you can see all these panzers coming this direction. So I'm a bit worried about this sector, I have to be honest. So it could be nice to check out the 37th army. What is sitting in the way of the Germans in this gap here south of Kursk? Orange, because it's a 4.1 average leader, and it's only 75,000 men with under 1,000 artillery. The morale should be, cavalry has 55 morale, so they're in a little bit of shape. Okay, so the infantry here is mostly 50. Yeah, so morale is good on all units. How about strength wise? Yeah, here's where you can start to see that 85, 60, 50, we have a little bit lower strength in these divisions. I would like some time to dig in and reinforce. I'll have 1 week at least. Fatigue wise, not that bad. No, that makes sense. Only a few of them retreated without combat from the river line, and others are reinforcements sitting here digging in. So, you know, strength-wise, fatigue-wise, it's okay, and even morale-wise, it's just a low number, small divisions, few troops. Okay. Call it medium strength. Kind of a weak army, to be fair. Did we analyze the third army? I don't think we did. I mean, yeah, I said we have. I have 2 core headquarters supporting the good leader in third army. It's probably not where these 2 core headquarters should be. I usually put a mortar battalion and sometimes a high power artillery battalion because they only have 12 artillery pieces maximum, so they're so small. They would probably be better off sitting in the Far East theater box, increasing the garrison value of these 12 artillery pieces. It's worth as much as a larger artillery support unit. Anyways, very heavy fighting here for 2 weeks earlier. Okay, that's not it. This turn, however, only 1 combat with a rout. Okay, so we didn't fight that much, but we did fight in these marshes, swamps earlier the week before. So I would expect this army to be weak and fatigued and low strength. Not disastrously, but let's examine it. The infantry has from 52 to 49. Okay, so morale is holding up here. We don't have any low morale units, and the same with experience, you know, 51 to 49. Fatigue, okay, yes, here you can see being a semi-encircled and running away and sitting in zone of control. So we have some very tired divisions here. Strength wise, not too shabby, from 42 up to 1 very strong one, wherever that is. Okay, so I mean, yeah, okay, maybe 64,000 infantry in the divisions, and total 1,100 guns and nearly 90,000. Okay, so maybe this isn't as weak as I expected it to be for some reason. Although, you know, mostly light forest, clear terrain behind a minor river in level 1 forts. It's better than nothing, but this line is not going to hold. It's not intended to hold. It's intended to slow down. But the question is, am I even strong enough to even fight for a week here in the future? We do have a little bit of a space here in front of us, so, you know, we'll see. We don't have any reinforcements coming into this area. What I've got here is what I've got here, unfortunately, for the next week. Alright, let's see how long the stream has been. It's been 47 minutes, so we were under an hour. Okay, let's look at a really trashy army here, the 19th Army. This one has been attacked over and over since Veliki Lukin falling back, and I have not really fed in or replaced with new divisions. So I expect this to be in very bad shape. Low strength, high fatigue, etc. Though kind of brownish. Why does he have a brown color? He's only got a 3 mech. I'm gonna risk it and change its color. Sometimes the game crashes. He should be a little bit more. I mean, I understand he's a good leader. Whatever. Okay. 4.5. He's almost red. Yeah, 6 morale and 5 infantry. So he's a good leader. But anyways, how does his army look like? First off, it's mostly infantry in this army. 74,900 guns. It seems pretty normal. But we do have a little bit of 47, 48 lower morale because they've been attacked and retreated and routed, etc. So they are under pressure. Same here, experience. It's okay. Experience is okay. But the fatigue, 50, 30, 20. Yeah, lots of tired divisions here. And look at this, from 16. And you have to go. Okay, we don't have any strong divisions here. Artillery, no, not a lot of artillery. Only 1,000 guns. So that's how a weak, tired, inefficient Soviet army looks like. But obviously I don't want to send more forces than necessary into this sector, so they just have to make do with what they got. Okay, I forgot to mention I'm railing a 4-point average division out of the Leningrad sector because I need it further south somewhere. I can show the manpower pool. Now down to 184,000, and we are only going to produce 98,000 each turn. As you can see, I don't know, production here. If you go down here, you can see manpower, that how much you produce each turn. Yeah, and I looked through a little bit trucks. I got 12,000 trucks for free this turn, but once the mobilization pool of trucks ends, you don't. I only build 1,800 trucks each turn, and you get a little bit from Lend-Lease as well. So, but I'm doing okay with trucks this campaign. So I'm gonna finish up whatever's going on. It's not a disaster. No, there are no disasters, no encirclement. But of course I'm under pressure. It's early in the war. So what do you think is gonna happen? Will we see any breakthroughs, any encirclements? Will they reach the shores of Lake Ladoga? Will they break through my thin center here in the south? Will they be stopped at Kerch? I think that's my main positions of worry. Will they inflict heavy tank losses in the center here, Kursk, Orel area? What's gonna happen? Let me know in the comments, and I'll pause it there. If you made it to the end, thanks for your patience. Let me know if you prefer this longer, even more detailed variant, or if you prefer the short, more concise overview of the positions only. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.